Right, we're doing it remotely from over here. If anything blows up. Right, wish me luck. Oh, okay, that looks good. I see a track mode lamps. That means the CPU board is running. Let's drop that playfield down and see if we've got displays and backbox lighting. Okay, let's fire up again. We've got displays, which is fantastic because obviously these are irreplaceable. That doesn't look right though. Got 8080. I would have imagined it would have been 00 or something. Ball count doesn't say anything. That says that it's not looking promising in terms of the logic, but at least the displays work. The GI is being weird. I don't know how if you can tell that. But basically, as the controlled lamps are flashing, the GI is sort of fading in and out. It's like dimming. Can't really see it on the camera as much. And also the back box is not lighting up for some reason. So we need to investigate that. I don't know how many of the playfield lamps are supposed to light up in the track mode, but none of this is lighting up. But we've got something. I've opened the coin door to see if I can credit the game up. And the game's gone off. Is there a safety interlock on this? Yes, there is. Well, that's annoying. How do you credit it then? So at least drop coins in. I don't think I'm going to have any... Is that new 10p's? Oh, I hope it's new 10p's. Yeah, you can actually pull out the interlock on this. It's just there. Because that would be really annoying if you wanted to take the glass off to get a slug ball out and it basically powers the game off. Might be worth bypassing that, actually. Right, we've got a ball in it. Let's see if it can be credited. There's some very weird coin setting on. Let's kicks out. That's not right. So the score displays need some attention. Does it flip? Oh, it does flip. There's a delay on the camera, so I couldn't actually flip it on time. And now it's lost the ball. Okay. So it kind of starts, but does not work properly. Okay. Well, I've been having to play around with it. So the reason why it only lets you play one ball is there's a kicker that kicks the ball out, and it sticks up after it fires the first time. So you have to shove it back down again, and then you can do the second ball. So that needs addressing. Ball display does nothing. These are all messed up. This kind of counts up, but it's not showing the right score. And then if we have a quick look, we hear a sound when it triggers a switch. Mostly work. No, it does work eventually. That's not working very well. That, again, same. You can hit it a few times before it fires. Nothing. Yes. Yes. I think there's a switch there. Nothing. Nothing. That one works. That one works. Oh. I leant on the coin door and tripped it out. That is very annoying. I do not like that. Let's try again. So, where were we? Right, yeah, so... Yep. No. Yep. And then we need to... That works at the back. That works at the back. And that works at the back. So we've got a drop that doesn't recognise, the spinner doesn't recognise. Yes on that switch. No on the pop bumper. No on the pop bumper. Oh, I switched it off again. Hang on once. Where were we? So, switch there. I've got a switch on here. That one doesn't work either. Kick out hole. Yes, yes to the kick out hole. Yes. No. No. Yes. Yes on that kick out hole. Oh, lost the ball. What have we got here? Rollovers. Nope. And yes. So we're about 50% switches down currently. These lamps don't work. I haven't seen them light up at all. Only the upper one seems to be doing anything. So there's a whole bunch of lamps not working. A whole bunch of switches not working. The flippers are rubbish. They can barely hit the ball up the playfield. And the playfield is practically as flat as a pool table currently. So lots of things to fix. The sound seems to be working, but I'm only hearing one sound. I don't know how normal that is. Well, one type of sound. They all sound the same. Well, there's a bit of variation there. But I'm not sure what it's supposed to sound like, to be honest. Maybe I should go and look at another YouTube video of a working one. But yeah, lots of things to fix. Yeah, I'll show you the ball trough thing. So it kind of just drops down. And it's not resetting, so you have to flick the ball. It kicks it back out. You have to flick it back in. There you go. Right, so this is currently in a solenoid test mode. And all of the kick-out holes, the two kick-out holes at the back and the kick-out hole in the bottom, in the trough, have the same fault that once it fires once, it sticks up. So you can hear that clicking, but it's not resetting. So that is the problem with all of them. Actually, that one's freed itself up. That one wasn't working, but it is now. So I guess they just need a clean up. Yeah, so the left kick out and the trough kick out gets stuck, so we need to deal with those. Obviously we've got lamps and switches to fix and the display issue as well. I'm just going to power the game back on again. I just want to see if you can see the GI fault, because it is quite obvious to the naked eye. But what happens is the GI is fading in. There, you can see it in the back right corner. It's fading in and out as the playfield lamps flash. So there's a bit of a severe issue with the GI. Do you want to know something funny? I know why the back box doesn't work. It's actually been a month since I filmed the first part of this video, and since then I've driven to Budapest and back. Anyway, I've forgotten, when I put the head on, I haven't actually connected. You can probably see it now. There's a connector just dangling at the back there. I haven't actually connected the back box lighting up, so that's why it doesn't work. I don't know where it goes. I guess it probably goes there. I need to check the manual. That's probably looking like the best suspect for where it needs to go. But yeah, that's why that doesn't work, so let's get that connected. Well, it's lit up now, and that's actually a pretty nice glass. I will turn the light off in a sec, and then we can have a proper look at it. Now, I've done a bit of research, so you've probably heard me mentioning about these GI is sort of dimming in and out as the playfield lamps change. So I found out there is no GI circuit on these Atari games. It's actually all CPU controlled, so there's a bunch of GI strings that are controlled the same way as the playfield lamps. So we potentially have an issue with the CPU controlled lamp circuit. We might have high resistance on a fuse holder, we might have a failing bridge rectifier, capacitor might be bad, so there's a whole bunch of stuff we can check. But we're not getting enough power to basically continually light all the playfield lamps and the GIs, because they are flickering and fading in and out depending on how much stuff is lit up. So it is struggling a bit, but I'm sure we can fix that. There you go, that's what it looks like with the lights off in the room. Looks pretty nice. So obviously we know we've got this problem with the score displays showing garbage. Interestingly, the ball display is now lit up, whereas previously it was the credit one that was lighting up and not the ball. I mean, obviously it's an electronic problem, but it's good to see that both of those displays do work, because I imagine they're completely irreplaceable unless you switch to like a brand new LED board or something. Right, so let's talk some more about the playfield lamps. Now, as you can see, this whole section here doesn't work, and the way that this works in the Atari games is you've got a bunch of drivers which basically ground the lighting circuits, and they're on the CPU board. I think they're Darlington pair transistor ICs, if I remember rightly. And on the aux board, it has strobes, so it strobes the actual lamp voltage, and then the CPU board grounds the strings. Now, I believe that that's all going to be on one string, or it's likely to all be on one string, on one strobe string. So I reckon we've got a bad strobe signal, and that's why we've got that section out. So what we need to do is take a look at that. Right, so we take a look at the aux board on the side of the cabinet. It should be pretty obvious where those strobes are. That's those transistors there, that connector there, and it goes through to that fuse block there. Now I've already tested those fuses. I haven't checked that connector there, the exiting connector. Let's check that out, make sure it's got good contact. And let's check the fuses again, just in case one's blown since I first powered the game up. I'm not sure how well we can do this one-handed. Oh, that one has nothing. That one's dead. That wasn't like that before. Yep, that one's bad. So we need to make sure we don't have a short in the lamp matrix, as obviously that's there to prevent. Well, sorry, to prevent it damaging the strobe drive. But yeah, something's caused that to blow since we first powered it up. Right, I've replaced that fuse, and let's power the game up and see what it does. So I didn't even see a flash or anything of those lights. It looks like it's probably dead again already. Let's lift the playfield up and check it. Yep, that's blown straight away. I didn't even see a flash of lights or anything, so I'm wondering if we've got a shorted out bulb holder or something maybe. Right, so looking at the schematics, it's strobe D, which is on the red wire, and there's a whole bunch of stuff on that strobe D. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write down each lamp that's on that circuit, and then we're going to check for shorts across the bulb holders. I suppose one other thing it could be is the drive transistor is stuck on, and that's causing it to draw a huge amount of current. But I didn't see anything flash, so I don't think that's the case. We'll check that, of course, at some point, but as I said, first of all, we're going to check for shorted out bulb sockets. I'll show you what we've got going on here. So I've got my meter leads connected up to a ground source and to the fuse holder, which currently has no fuse in it. I'm basically just checking that that transistor is actually doing something. You can see it's pulsing. Just wanted to make sure it wasn't static, like it was shorted on or anything. So I'm just going to take out another fuse and look at one of the working lines to make sure it's a similar signal, which I'm sure it will be. So yeah, I've just dropped it down onto strobe C. It's pretty much exactly the same signal. So yeah, it looks like transistors are working as expected. The short is going to be on the playfield most likely. Right, I found a problem. It's the 6000 bonus lamp socket. Now I've been messing with it, but basically, as you can see, it's falling apart. So this terminal is touching against that terminal, creating a short. So I reckon, as long as there aren't any other shorts, if we disconnect one of these wires, we should be able to put a fuse back in and get this to power up. Right, another fuse in. I've basically just cut that off currently. We'll get a new bulb holder when I can find an appropriate one. It's getting very expensive on fuses. Decent fuses like Little Fuse or Busman are like £1.50 each. And you need to stock about 40 or 50 different values if you cover both the 20mm and the 32mm range. So obviously once you get to WPC 95, you need the 20mm. So it's really expensive to have a full set of fuses in stock. We're looking at like £1,000. And I've only got one more 3A after this one, so let's hope there's no other shorts. I've powered it up and I don't see any bonus lights working, so I'm going to guess that fuse has blown again, which is bad news. It means there's another short somewhere else, most likely on the GI circuits, as I think the rest of those are fine. So now we're on to something that's very annoying with Atari games. So instead of having different coloured wires like in Williams or Bally, they're all white, at least on the lamps. And they've actually got tiny numbers on them. Don't know if we can get a focus on those numbers. Let's try a different one. So every wire, even when you've got two wires going to one lamp, they are individually numbered. So you've got 137 and 138. So what we're looking for to find the GI that's on this strobe D is we need 205 to 212, I think it was. So I need to go through and have a look at all of these till I find 205 to 212 and then test those. It's actually a really slow and annoying process as the numbers are only on one side of the wire, so you've got to twist all the wires around to read them. And anyway, I found 211, 210 here, so I guess the best way to do it is try and actually follow the wires and see where they go. Right, so there are 7 GI bulbs on that string and I found 6 of them. So one here, one here, one here, one here, one here, and one here. So I need to find the 7th one. None of these looked suspicious, they all look in decent condition, but still could be a short on them. Right, so as we can see from the aux board schematic, the strobe D, which is the one we're having a problem with, is actually connected to that coin door lamp. So that makes me very suspicious. However, it's connected on the board, which is before the fuse holders, so I'm not sure why that is blowing the fuse. I would expect that to actually blow up the transistor. But as we saw from the scope meter, the transistor appeared to be working in that it was outputting voltage pulses. This is certainly related, but it doesn't make 100% sense to me at this point. But let's address that coin door bulb and see if we can get that to work now. Right, as I've got only one fuse left, I thought I'd try something different for the testing. So I've grabbed my most portable power supply, which is this old Maplin thing, and I'm going to basically apply some voltage to the lamp sockets with a current limited pretty low, so we don't damage anything if there's a short. So I've just hooked onto one of the GI circuits that I know is working. We'll switch this on, and we will see that GI is lit up. So I can test that GI string at the back, the one that's on the problem circuit, and make sure it actually lights up and isn't shorted out. Obviously, if there is a short, it'll go into current limiting mode and drop the voltage down. Right, and as we can see, that GI string at the back is working, or at least the bulbs that work are working. There are some that are out. So that's not the problem. To be honest, I think we've addressed the issue with that coin door bulb socket. It doesn't explain why the fuse was blowing after the board, so I just want to make sure that there's not something I've overlooked. So I'm just going to now individually power up all of these bonus lights. So it's basically all of these rows here, and then there's a double and a triple bonus one as well. Right, so the final test I'm doing, I've got the power supply hooked up to the ground, and then I've got the positive on the output side of the fuse holder for the strobe D. So basically going to supply some voltage into that strobe D line and see how much of it finds its way to ground. So I'll turn it on. It's pulling an amp. Obviously it's a 3 amp fuse. Let's see what's going on. Alright, so the GI is lit up by default. I don't know if that's intentional. I thought it was switched through those drivers. So maybe one of those drivers is also stuck on. Or maybe it's intentional, I'm not sure. So I'll have to look into that. But it is drawing 1 amp, not more than 3 amps. So I think we might be okay to try putting a fuse back in and powering it up and seeing what happens. Right, ready to give it a test. My last fuse, so please work. Oh, we have some bonus lights. Some are obviously blown bulbs. There may be some drivers that don't work. Obviously we've got a bulb holder currently missing. We've got all our GI on. So yeah, now I need to go through. There's a lot of bad sockets on this, probably some bad bulbs as well. I need to work out if there's any drivers that are actually faulty, or if it's just bad bulbs and sockets. So let's go through and try and get as many of those working as possible. I notice this is flickering, so I need to check the voltages on that as well actually. Let's do that too.